Mr. Speaker, last night this House delivered a clear verdict. The Liberal government must table a budget. Now, this Prime Minister is asking Canadians to blindly approve over $500 billion in spending with no plan, no transparency, and no accountability. This Prime Minister has promised to cap spending at 2%, then shattered that promise and jacked it up by 8%. What do Canadians get in return? Soaring debt, higher inflation, and zero economic leadership. Will the government stop the reckless spending, respect the will of this House, and table a budget?
Excellent question.
L'honorable ministre des Finances.
Mr. Speaker, there was a vote yesterday, but there's another vote coming in the coming days, Mr. Speaker. This is a vote where we'll see the true color of the Conservative, Mr. Speaker, because this is the motion in which we're cutting tax for 22 million Canadians, Mr. Speaker. Canadians who live in Riding, they will be watching at home to see will the Conservative be there to have the back of Canadians, Mr. Speaker. I can tell you we'll be watching from this side. Canadian will be watching at home, and we all expect this House to say together, yes, we have the back in Canadian, and we'll give them a tax break.
Honourable member for Prince George, Peace River, Northern Rockies.
Last night, our Conservative motion passed demanding a budget from this Prime Minister this spring. After a decade of Liberal delay and decline in Northwest Territories, their economy is in trouble. Since 2015, mining, quarrying, oil and gas extraction down 16%. Construction down 43%. The energy sector down 54%. Economist Graham Clinton writes, as the mines close over the next 3 to 8 years and nothing replaces them, we can expect a much smaller economy than we have today. The Northwest Territories can't afford any more of your empty promises, Prime Minister. What's your plan?
L'honorable ministre des Finances.
Speaker, on this side of the House, Mr. Speaker, we understand that Canada's strength when it comes to the economy of the future. Mr. Speaker, we're attracting talent. We have very large industry. This is a country that builds cars, that builds planes, that builds automobiles. Mr. Speaker, this is the country which has critical mineral. This is the country which has renewable energy and conventional energy. This is the only country of the G7 which has a free trade agreement with all the other G7 nations. Mr. Speaker, we have what the world needs, and we'll be there to build a superpower economically for this country and Canadians and for generations to come.
The honourable member for Kapuskasing, Timmins, Mushkegowuk.
Mr. Speaker, Parliament is demanding a budget from this Liberal government. For example, to cap spending at 2%, they increased it by 8%. Rather than cut spending on consultants, they increased it by 35%. To a record-smashing $26 billion. Wow. Last night, a Conservative motion was passed calling the Prime Minister to issue a budget this spring. The Liberals are asking Parliament to approve $500 million in Liberal spending without no budget. Will the minority Liberal government listen to the majority Parliament and issue the budget immediately?
L'honorable ministre des Finances.
Mr. Speaker, as the Prime Minister said, we take note of the vote yesterday. But, Mr. Speaker, what I can say to the member, and I welcome into this House, let's focus on what the main estimates are doing for Canadians, Mr. Speaker. They're supporting childcare in this country, Mr. Speaker. They're supporting pharmacare in this country. They're supporting dental care, Mr. Speaker. What they're doing, they're supporting Canadians, Mr. Speaker. Canadians have asked this House to work for them. Canadians have asked us to be ambitious. Canadians have asked us to build Canada strong. This is what we're going to do with this Prime Minister.
The honourable member for Algonquin, Renfrew, Pembroke.
Mr. Speaker, the House has spoken. Parliament is demanding a budget this spring. The Liberals have already broken their promise of a spending cap. A budget is more than a big book of spending. It tells us how much it's going to cost. How much are they going to raise taxes? How much are they going to borrow? The Liberals have no plan to manage the debt. Mr. Speaker, will the Liberal minority government listen to the majority of Parliament and table a budget this spring?
The Honourable Minister of Transport and Internal Trade.
Mr. Speaker, our government does have a plan, and that plan is what we discussed yesterday in Saskatoon with the premiers from across the country. I do have to agree with the leader of the bloc. It was a love-in, and it was a love-in because the premiers, Liberals, Conservatives, NDP, agree now is the time to build Canada, to build one Canadian economy. It will add $200 billion to our economy. All of us in this House should support that.
The honourable member for Sarnia-Lambton, Burkittsville.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday our motion to have the government table a budget this spring was passed here in this House. The Liberals wanted us to approve $486 billion of spending with no plan. $20 billion of that revenue was supposed to come from the elbows up counter tariffs, but secretly during the election the Prime Minister and Cabinet signed the order to cancel them while telling Canadians they were still going to fight with dollar-for-dollar tariffs. So, will the Prime Minister listen to Parliament, table a spring budget, and explain where the extra $20 billion is going to come from?
The Honourable Minister of Energy and Natural Resources.
Mr. Speaker, yesterday's meeting was a great show of national unity. It was a proud day for Canadians. In the words of Premier Ford, when our country comes under attack from President Trump, we unite and we're a resilient country. And everyone realizes that if we don't move, we'll be left behind, and the consequences will be 10 times worse. Canada's new government is acting to make Canada an energy superpower. It would be great if the Conservatives helped us in this.
The honourable member for Hamilton East, Stony Creek.
Mr. Speaker, good news. Last night, the Conservatives passed a motion calling on the Prime Minister to issue a budget this spring. This as Trump is threatening to double the tariffs on steel to 50%. That would put Hamilton Steel and steelworkers out of business. The Prime Minister promised he would collect $20 billion in tariffs from the United States. There's no $20 billion, there's no tariffs. Will the Prime Minister listen to Parliament, table a budget, and show us how's he going to make up that $20 billion?
L'honorable ministre de l'Industrie.
Mr. Speaker, at a time where we are in a trade war and we know that our steel and aluminum workers are worried, we're standing up for them. And we will continue to make sure that we fight by having strong counter-tariffs, that we protect our workers, and we will build through very strong, major national projects. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
L'honorable député.
The honourable member for Mégantic-l'Érable, Lotbinière. Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister the tariffs are jeopardizing the jobs of thousands of steel and aluminum workers, but the Liberals are still refusing to comply with the majority motion of the House. They're abandoning, secretly they've turned their backs on these counter tariffs when the U.S. President is threatening to double them. Will the Liberals show respect for the majority of Canadians and the majority of Parliament and table a budget this spring, yes or no? The Honourable Minister of Industry. Mr. Speaker, one thing is clear. The majority of Canadians voted for us. But beyond that, what's important for my colleagues to understand is that we are there to support workers in the aluminum industry. The Prime Minister and I myself have committed to speak to players in the aluminum industry and the steel industry and the unions. We've been there since the outset with this tariff war. And we imposed counter tariffs, we fought, and we're also committed to protecting workers and building Canada.